Hey, what's going on, guys? We're checking back in again here today with the 30-Minute Sisters line, the subline of the 30-Minute Sisters for the Idolmaster Shiny Colors series of idol character model kits here from Bandai. This is the Amana Osaki model kit that we're going to be checking out here today. The body, I think, is basically going to be exactly the same as what we've seen with some of the other kits in the line so far. Just basically, this just gives us different face and hair parts to make a different character from the group. And then we've also got this option set we're going to be taking a look at here as well to kind of go along with that, which basically just gives us the hair and face parts to make two other different characters in the group as well here for Tenka Osaki and also Chiyuki Kuwayama. Yeah, so just a couple other characters that you can make here with this. So basically lots of different face and hair option parts that you can use, of course, to make these different characters, or you can use them with your other 30-Minute Sisters kits to kind of mix and match. Of course, it's all compatible. So we'll get into it. We'll start off by taking a look at the box, and then we'll get into the kit for today's video. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we'll check out the main kit here. First, Amana Osaki. As usual, we got just a really nice box art here on the front of the character. We also can see this is going to be in skin tone color A. In case you're wanting to do any mixing and matching with other kits or other parts in the line, you can match the skin tone here, but you can see it's in a pretty standard sized box. And on the bottom of the box here, it's letting us know that we've got 3 printed face options. That's nice. We also have a hair option in case you didn't want the accessory on the hair and you just wanted the hair, so you can use it like that without that accessory up there. So that's pretty cool. You can see how the kit is going to look in a couple of different poses, and then customizing by, again, mixing and matching with other 30-Minute Sisters stuff. You can do that with the clothes, the hair, or kind of whatever combination you want to do. So here's even telling you which kits are used for these specific combinations, just to give you some ideas. That's always nice. Here on the other side, just a few more shots of the built model kit there, and a short little bit here about the character Amana Osaki. But for myself, unfortunately, not knowing anything about the Idolmaster, I don't really know anything about the actual character or backstory of the group or the anime or anything else about it. We're just here to check out the kit. So here on the instruction manual, we've got the box art there, and then again some more images and information down here on the bottom side about the character. Around on the back side though, here you can see there's a little bit about the different characters that you can make from the Alstroemeria, I guess maybe group or subgroup or something like that. With some of the different option parts, you can make some of the different characters there, and again about mixing and matching to make custom characters. So other than that, the instruction manual should be pretty straightforward. We are going to have our parts list here on the colored side, and here you can see we've also got Hazuki Nanakusa as our little guide to give us a couple of tips along the way. So we've got some of the instructions here in color, but then we're going to be all in black and white for all the rest of the instructions there, but it should be a pretty straightforward build. It's even letting us know here on this page how you can group the runners for a smoother assembly, I guess. So maybe this is all the runners for the head and body, for example, and then this is maybe for the arms, and this is for the legs and the accessory, something like that. So the runners can all be snapped apart for ease of separation there like that. We do also have this part in here for the dress, which is like this plaid printed, just kind of like soft, thin plastic kind of piece here. So that is pretty nice. And then we do also have our sticker sheet, which is the plastic type stickers, which means we have like a thin layer of plastic here, which makes the stickers look that much nicer, I think. So you got these hearts there in like a metallic pink and just a regular flat pink, and then a couple of little white accents there as well. But then getting into our runners here, we've got FS-C, and you can see the printing on these looks really, really nice. You have like a separate part for the mouthpiece, which also is pre-printed in the correct kind of pinkish color there. FSC2, I guess that was FSC1. The first one we saw, FSC2. FSC3 here for that kind of open mouth, I guess more singing or surprise sort of face. We'll see how that looks more closely in the review. And then FSC4 is going to be the parts for the inside of the head and the neck parts there. The A runner here is made up of a few parts, but we've got some white, light blue, and gold, and then one little black part there on for the mics. Like for example, it showed us in the manual, you could separate this part off here for just the parts for the microphone there. Runner B here is going to be our clear black parts, and as you can see, it's in a clear black plastic with like a sparkle injection in there, so it looks really nice. Runner C is going to be some more skin tone colored parts here for the body, arms, legs. Runner D, a few more molded gold parts here for like the kind of chain accessories, and these are very thin, but they're quite flexible, so you really don't need to worry too much about like breaking these parts accidentally. I feel like these are molded actually quite nicely. Runner E then, some more white parts here for the kit. Runner F is a few more parts here in skin tone, and important to point out that some of these parts here, like for the arms and legs, are are just molded as one solid piece. So you may have some mold line there that you might want to sand down, but otherwise you won't have any seam lines in those parts, which is really, really nice. Last couple of runners here, then runner HSC is going to be our hair parts specific for this kit in this kind of reddish brown kind of color. And then runner HD is going to be our hand option parts here in white. And that's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. Alright, and here is Amana all built up there. Again, it's mostly going to be the same costume that we've seen in past releases, of course, here, but we do have the new head parts on there for making the individual characters. That is kind of like the main point of these releases, is that you're able to make all the different characters of the group. And if you've already built the kit a couple of times, the build experience is not really going to offer you that much new. It's kind of more so of a way to collect the characters as a fan, and not necessarily for providing a new and unique model kit with each release. But that said, it is a really nice build. If you've not ever built it, if you're a fan of the design at all, I would recommend you guys to check out this build, because as far as the 30 Minute Sisters line goes, it is definitely a very nice, very unique build experience to build one of these. So let's go ahead and check out our included accessories here. And for the most part, what we've got here is face option parts and hand option parts. So for our hand option parts, you've got these open expressive hands here like this, doing sort of like one of these type of pose. There, we've also got a set of closed fists for both the left and the right side. We've also got some other expressive idol sort of hands here, making a couple of different like hand gestures like this. Again, you have these for the left and the right side there as well. We've got this pointing hand here. For the right side, it's just a pointing hand. For the left side, it's a pointing hand that can hold the microphone there in hand. And the microphone just going to be two pieces here, a white piece for the handle, a black piece for the end. So that can just fit into the hand there like so. This is actually going to be our main microphone holding hand, as we do also have a couple of holding hands here for the left and the right side. But as you can see, these have a square hole there in the hand. So I think these are just basically meant for holding any other type of accessory or something like that if you wanted to give the kit anything else. As far as what we have included, it's only the microphone. But here's two of our face option parts. Here you have the singing and winking sort of face there. You have this also open mouth, but just sort of like blush face here like this. And the print quality on these does look really, really nice. Our third face option also going to be an open mouth option, which makes sense for like a singing idol that you'd have like singing faces, although this one's just sort of more sort of like, I don't know, just kind of a straight face, sort of just singing type of face there. But lastly, we've got an option part here for the bangs. If you didn't want to have this sort of like a corsage thing there in the hair, this part just basically doesn't have the part where that would plug into the part of the bangs. And we have an optional part for that. If you remove this from the kit, you can use that white part in combination with this blue part here, which looks like that one, but this one's different in that it has a hard point on the backside for being able to plug this onto different kits if you wanted to use that for that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for option parts, but you do have a couple of options here with the stickers, in that for this part here on the chest, that gold part, you're going to use those white stickers for that little white bit in between. But for the heart there in the middle, you can choose whether you want to have that more like kind of a metallic or just a regular pink. I went for just the regular pink there, as it just looks more, makes it look more just like kind of like a regular kind of plastic piece like the rest of the kit. But if you prefer the look of that shiny metallic pink heart there for that, you can use that one instead. So as for the kit itself, again, this is something that we've seen before, but you gotta love the different details that you have here in the costume, from this thin part that you kind of sandwich between a couple of different plastic parts there, to the different textures and details of the different materials here used. You have this really nice sparkly clear black piece there, and some really nice details here in the top part with the white and gold insets, and this little gold chain part that is, again, a more kind of flexible bit of plastic, so you don't need to worry so much about that breaking or anything. And a lot of nice details here around on the kit. The articulation is going to be pretty simple, with just a single joint in the elbow, a double joint here in the knee. It's going to give you about that much of a bend there, a little bit more than 90 degrees. And then in the ankles, you have a side-to-side movement, front and back movement, as well as in the hand here as well. You can also just rotate that. It's also able to bend forward and back there as well. The head is just connected via a ball joint, so you have just kind of simple movement there for that. These front bits of hair are going to kind of a little bit get in the way with that ribbon there on the front. The back part of the hair can also move separately here like this, just basically that just moves up and down, and that's pretty much it. And so as I said, pretty much these releases are just for fans of the series, just to be able to complete their collection of their, maybe not even completing a collection of the entirety of the group, but maybe just getting their favorite characters from the group. So they have to kind of make different releases for all the characters, and of course, as many idol groups do, they're all wearing matching costumes, so it's not like the actual costumes are going to have much variety. There is a bit of variety, I guess, in the costumes, in that some of them have slightly different sizes to them, and that's something that we've taken a look at in past videos before. I don't know the size of this one. Let me check here. Basically, it was just different size parts for the chest. I'm not sure which one this is, but anyway, because of the costume and the skirt in particular, you are going to be a little bit limited in terms of the range of movement, in terms of like the posing that you can do with this. But I think as basically just a way to give you a model kit that you can build of your favorite member or all the members of your favorite group or something like that, just for fans of the group, I would say that, it's definitely a really nice kit. If you've already built one, there's not a whole lot of incentive to build more than one unless you are trying to get like your favorite characters or complete the entirety of the group. And that leads us to exactly why you might want to get one of the option sets, like we'll take a look at here now. But alright, so yeah, let's say you want to make Tenka Osaki or Chiyuki Kuwayama. Here is the option set to do that. So as I said, we just got these hair and face option parts, which you can see highlighted over here. Aside from the nice character illustration, it says we got 2 face option parts and 1 hair option part for color A there for Tenka, I guess. And then here for Chiyuki, we've also got 2 face option parts and 1 hair option part. And that's pretty much going to be what you're going to expect here. So it's a smaller style box for sure. But here on the bottom, we do have some images showing, again, just what the face parts and hair parts are going to look like, and then how those are going to look on the body. So you don't have an actual body included with this set, very important to note. So it's just the face and hair option parts. So you will need the full kit, like the regular kit, which we just looked at, in order to have the body, and then you can just basically swap the heads. So you're going to have to buy multiples of the main kit in order to make like all the characters, in full. So just something to keep in mind. I do kind of wish that Bandai would sell just the body on its own so that you could use it. Basically, you could buy just the body without, because if you buy multiples of the Amana kit or the Mano kit or any other version, then you're just going to have lots of leftover like head and face option parts that you're not going to end up using. But I guess that's just the name of the game. So as you can see here, just a couple of runners. We'll take a look at those just a second. Our instruction manual is going to be pretty similar here, with it just having the box art and then kind of short character bio about our 2 characters there. And you do have that in Japanese and in English, so you can check that out right there. And then down there at the bottom, just giving a couple more examples of how you could customize these face and hair parts with some other kits from this series. On the back side here, our parts list is there in color. And then the instructions, as you might imagine, are going to be pretty straightforward. It's basically just swapping out these couple of hair and face parts with like the main kit. So it shows you in detail how to do that, but like I said, not too difficult to figure out. Our main runner here is pretty interesting, as it's basically kind of like separated down the middle there. So you've got hair parts over here in a kind of somewhat greenish brown, kind of more just straight brown kind of color, and then that same reddish brown color like we saw with the main kit. Got a couple parts on here in white and light blue as well. And then we've just got our pre-printed face option parts here included with the same like neck parts there. And once again, the quality on these looks pretty nice. I'll have to get them out and we'll see how these look on the kit here in just a minute. But some nice options there. And also, again, important to point out that these are both in color A, so it's all going to be color compatible in terms of just like the skin tone. So it'll all match up really nicely. Let's go ahead and check them out. As for our option parts for Tenka Osaki, here's how the head looks. You'll notice that the hair parts are going to look very similar, except they're pretty much just mirrored, and the same goes for the front. Instead of the hair going to the right, it goes to the left, and that's going to be basically the only difference here between these two. I guess they're meant to be sisters or twins or whatever, so that's fine. But yeah, if you wanted these hair parts to go in the opposite direction, you've got this option here. And for our 2 option faces, you'll notice neither of which really look like much of a singing face. You have this one where the mouth's closed and it just sort of looks a bit kind of aloof, and this other one where the mouth is open, but it just looks like the mouth is just more sort of like agape really than singing necessarily. So we do also once again have an option part for the bangs without the corsage bit there on on the top if you didn't want to have that on there, so you just have regular hair parts there for that. And then for the Chiyuki head and hair option parts, it's just like this. The flower part there, or the corsage bit, is there at the bottom. And again, if you wanted to have the hair without that, you do have hair parts. So I do like the fact that you get hair parts to use without this decorative. I keep saying corsage, I don't know if that's really the right word for it, but I like the fact that you get hair parts to make the hair without that, because if you just really like this hairstyle and you wanted to use this hairstyle on just like some other different 30-minute sisters, like custom build or something like that, you're making something and you didn't want to have that, ultimately what you would be forced to do is basically just to fill in that little square bit there. But it's nice that we have an option part included that you can just swap out to make the hair part there just without that, if you wanted to use this either just as this character or just make your own character. And then since you have this little bit here on the bangs as well, we do also have an optional bangs part here, which doesn't have the little hole in it for that. So for the same purposes of if you wanted to have the hair without anything in it, you've got option parts for that. So that's nice. And then for our face option parts, again, not necessarily singing faces. You have this one like just kind of calm, happy face there, and this other happy face here with the mouth open, but again, it doesn't necessarily look like a singing face, just the mouth is open there and happy, just a happy, smiley, Genki sort of face there. So again, with this one, there's really not too much to go over then. It just basically gives you the option to take the body that you have and then make it into these couple of different character options. You could use these heads and hair option parts, basically the face and hair option parts of these particular characters on any of your different 30-minute sisters kits. You don't necessarily have to use these with the Idolmaster shiny colors, like idol costume body. You could use it on whatever you want. And so it does give you some different options. Basically, it's sort of like getting a hair and face option set of just kind of generic 30-minute sisters hair and face options if you wanted to make your own characters, if you have like no connection with the actual idol group. Like myself, I don't really care too much about the idol group. This is just basically a way to get more hair and face option parts that you can use for your 30-minute sisters kits. And so either way, it's a nice set, and the pre-printing on these faces is really nice here from Bandai. I think this is definitely some of their best pre-printed face option parts that they've put out for their like Musume model kits has been from this line. So that's definitely been nice if you're wanting to make some of your own either characters from this series or just original characters. And so really nice. What do you guys think about these sets? I'm anxious to hear your guys' thoughts, because I'm kind of thinking that I don't know how many more of these Bandai can keep putting out, but they do seem to be continuing to put out more of these, so they must be selling pretty well. I'm guessing probably more so in Japan, but you would think, considering the base model kit is not really all that different, and it's basically just like building the same model kit again and again. But then again, I guess with idol music fans, they buy the same CD again and again and again oftentimes, so it's maybe not too different from typical idol culture. So I don't know, let me know your guys' thoughts, and if you want to check out some more of these kits for yourself, you can check the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. I've got, of course, lots of 30-minute sisters stuff on there for you guys to check out, and if you would mind leaving a like and making sure that you're subscribed while you're here, I really appreciate your guys' support. Thank you so much. Till next time, hope y'all are having a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye guys.